Well, the our security communication approach
Mm.
has been laced with denial and propaganda. Don't also
Mm.
forget that the army first denied the killing of Brigadier General. I don't know if you know of that.
Yes, sir.
They
Yes.
first denied
When
his.
the abduction happened, yes,
Yes,
sir.
they denied it. So
Yes, I do.
the government communication about attack in the Nigerian state or in Nigerian soil and be clearly about cover up and pouch propaganda. And I say that one of the persons or the people that have failed the Nigerian state the most are the media people.
Mm.
Because you cannot hide under the responsible reportage to cover atrocities. That is not journalism. Your work as a journalist is not to help to cover atrocities or do journalism, do public relations for the government. And I'm saying, therefore, that there are a lot of atrocities going on in this country regarding insecurity. The state is not interested in talking about it. All what the state is doing is to ensure that it's being covered. I bet you, if not because the emergence of social media that has made it practically impossible for states to hide information, you and I would have been in the dark. And let me ask you, apart from Sahara Reporters, how many media organizations in this country talk about insecurity in all honesty? And they're not talking about insecurity because perhaps they may have been compromised. Maybe the government would have compromised the editors. And you don't see them talk about these things. So I am saying, and that the state itself has not clearly, either the use of indigenous communication approaches or either the use of conventional media or either in the use of even the social media to clearly communicate to Nigerians what is going on. What we have seen over time is that the state is most interested in making the government to look good as against speaking up. And I had said before now that public communication demands high level of transparency and accountability. It was in the olden days, where the citizens relied on newspapers and perhaps NTA or network news, Radio Nigeria, to listen to news, that you can begin to look at denial and outright lies as a tool for public communication. But I am saying, therefore, the current time where people don't need to read newspapers to know what is happening, the current time demands for accountability or accountable and transparent public communication. The state doesn't need to lie. The state only needs to really clearly communicate, tell the citizens what has happened, and assure the citizens what it is doing to stem the tide. Because you need to build trust and confidence. And the only way you build trust and confidence is to have sincere and accountable communication. This idea of those who speak for government, or what they think that communication is all about, is outright denial. That kind of approach really backfires, because the citizens you're lying to are already ahead of you. And that was why I felt that was why I felt disappointed when the Brigadier General was killed. The army denied that such a thing happened. But along the line, it was all over the places. So how do you begin to build trust among citizens? How do you begin to build trust among the people who see you as a machine of lies? And I think that the state needs to recalibrate its own communication channel, or the communication team need to need to be retrained, because what we do is that we still have people who have the colonial or the archaic mentality of journalism and communication. In short, as a matter of fact, most of the people you see in the government team are not communicators, they are journalists, and the journalists are not good communicators. You just, what you do is that you get some journalists perhaps who may not even have adequate training. You get journalists, you get a PR machine, and you confuse them as communication. Noise is not communication. Public relation is not communication. The communication must talk in terms of communication is about empowerment and negotiation. Let me say clearly before I leave. There are three things communication must achieve, and I always tell you this thing. One of it is that the citizens must understand what the issues are. Do you understand me? The citizens must understand what the issues are. Two, the citizens must understand that they are part and parcel of the solution. Three, the citizens must take action. If your communication does not achieve these three things, you're just making noise, and noise is not communication. That's what I'm saying, Bishop. The media space, it is a disservice to their own constitutional duty, because the responsible reportage, the idea of responsible reportage is not that you should help this government to cover atrocity. That's not what it is. But because we don't really understand, we need to draw the thin line between responsible reportage and clearly covering up atrocities. Now, government thinks that what it's doing will solve the situation. You cannot cover, the only way you can cover the atrocities is that you need to adequately respond to insecurity issues. What you need to do is to clearly respond to the situation by ensuring that government adequately respond. One, those who carry arms against the state must be dealt with. Those who sponsor terrorism must be dealt with. That is the proper state response. That's how it should be. Now, let me say where government is missing the point. The government's behavior of covering conversation or communication did not stop Donald Trump from saying what he said. There are a lot of persons who can come from outside the country, even within Nigeria, to go to villages to interview the people. There are a lot of people who do direct investigative reporting and investigative research, who can go to the people to listen to the people to hear the real truth. So you can't stop that. If government thinks that the way it is going to handle or fight insecurity is to ensure that people don't get to talk about it, government is missing the point. Because we are in the era of citizen journalism. What happened in Plateau State, what happened in Maiduguri yesterday, I saw it on Twitter and Facebook. I didn't see it on any major newspaper. So, and at the end of the day, the citizen journalism, they're even ahead of the government. So we are in information age, we are in digital age, and we are in technology age, where you cannot hide information. So the idea of hiding information, or the idea of lies and propaganda, happened in the olden days, where before you can have access to information, you go buy newspaper. Bishop, let me ask you, when last did you buy newspapers? When last did you have to read the newspaper to know what has happened? And I'm saying that those days are gone. Those days are gone. So government should understand that the idea of bringing together old journalists with the mentality of let's cover it from the public, that idea, that kind of approach in the area of public communication is no more working, because whether you tell the truth or not, citizens know what the truths are. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Liberty, for joining us on our program this morning. Really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.